Yeah. Just so you all know too, you're on the same page. No injuries. I think a couple of people have mentioned to me Matty Crouch came off. That was just cramp. There's no tissue injury or anything there. Outside of that, we're all clear and fire away when you get a moment.
Well, Bretton, 2 in a row, and a first home win at Adelaide Oval. What's it all mean for you guys today?
Really important to get the result, as you mentioned, for our first win at our new home. And also too, we did focus on doing our very best to put in a good result for Scotty Thompson, who's been one of our very best players in the club's short history, and for him playing his 250th today, great to cheer him off at the end. So really happy about that. But I guess the reality is we're still 2 wins, 3 losses. Play a very good Western Bulldogs side away next week. So as with most weeks, we'll review the areas we need to improve on and look forward to our next opponent.
But your footy's been good in the past 2 weeks, just the way you're playing too. What have you changed, or what's happened? Is it a confidence thing, or what is it?
Oh no, we've. It felt like we've controlled the tempo of the last 2 games that we've played in. So when we've wanted to go quick, we've gone quick. When we've wanted to, slow it down a little bit, we've been able to control that. In the first 3 rounds, it felt like the opposition had control of the game, and we were sort of chasing to get back into it, and working really hard to get back into the game. But yeah, the last 8 quarters we've played, we've won the last 8 quarters, which is great. After I think only winning 3 quarters of the first 12 we played, so that's better. But still plenty of work to do. Enormous respect for the Giants, because they're a really talented young side, but we've still got a long way to go when it comes to improving to the level that we need to get to.
Brendan, it's your turn this week to deal with the bump. Did Douglas get that one wrong, that he just shouldn't have bumped a player so far off the ball?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look at the vision properly. I just saw the scoreboard replay, and it's probably a better one to ask me in the next few days. But I spoke to Ward after the game and he was fine. Dougie thought it was a clean bump, but once again we'll have to wait and see.
The problem is, you say clean bump, but he's been concussed, subbed out. It's a pretty clear message from the AFL that the player who does that will pay a price. So where are you on that debate?
Oh, it's not for me to judge what the match review panel will decide, but as I said, I probably can't make have a strong opinion on it while I've only seen one replay. I'll have a good look at it tonight and we can talk about it this week.
What about, though, on the core point that the player is held to account if a player is then lost with concussion?
Yeah, once again, I probably can't comment until the ruling comes through and until I've seen the vision.
General question. There seems to be a statement made, even before the Douglas incident, that a player will be held liable.
That's the statement, sorry? The
Fife one proves it. The match review panel saying if you concuss a player or send a player off from a head bump, you will be held liable for it. Is that the right rule to have, the right thought to have by
I know the AFL are trying to protect the player's head, so I'm not sure about the statement, though. You'll have to probably go through that one again with me.
Brent, you spoke about quarters 1, the way you controlled the tempo of the game. Also, goal kickers. Last week you had 12, today 10. Yep. How significant is that? Yeah,
it's really important to get a contribution from your entire squad when it comes to hitting the scoreboard. And not that we look to share the load, but Dangerfield, I think, kicked 5 and Jenkins 4, which was really important. But Wright chips in with 3 and a couple of Petrenko 2. So it's good for our forwards to hit the scoreboard, but we do need our mids contributing in that area too. And even defenders have snuck forward a little bit in the first few rounds. I don't think any defenders kicked any today, but yeah, you're right, it's important that we get an even contribution.
Ben Rutten, a late withdrawal. Cole Hardigan, I thought, was terrific down back in the land of the Giants down there.
Yeah, fantastic. Hardigan, Shaw and Talia were really important for us today. They probably won't get the accolades externally, but internally those 3 players played a really critical role in us getting the win today, and they'll say it was helped by the pressure that our midfielders created. So the ball getting jacked forward rather than in time and space. So, but yeah, we can't ask much more from those 3 young kids today. Like, remember, they're young too. I mean, Rutten comes out of the side who's played a lot of footy. Shaw, Hardigan and Talia haven't played much. So that's a really important step for us and our future.
Has Rutten carried that for a while? Or
he has, yeah. That NAB Cup, NAB 3, which we we played GWS up at Blacktown. Truck just hurt his knee a bit in that game, and he's just been struggling to get on top of it the first 3 or 4 weeks. And we just had a chat late this week, and we probably felt it was the right time, just while it was still sort of niggling, just to give him a spell.
Yeah, the past 2 weeks, your form has been obviously a lot better. Can you pinpoint it to anything? Is it just confidence? Is it the opposition, or is it just changes that you made to the structures?
Probably in general, we've been able to win the fundamentals, the contested ball clearances. Again this week, the uncontested numbers were plus 80, so we were able to get the ball on the outside of the contest. I think those numbers were reversed in the first 3 rounds. So once again, I just think when the game needed to be controlled by one team, it was us that was able to do it for the majority of the game. There were still some patches where the Giants played really well and had us on the ropes, but felt like for maybe the majority of the game, we were able to decide when to put speed on it and when to just sort of control the tempo.
How pleasing was it? When you talk about those times where the Giants had control of the game early in that first quarter was one of them, but must have been pleasing to not let them actually put any scoreboard pressure on.
Yeah, they played really well early. I was a bit nervous in that first sort of 7 or 8 minutes, when not that they jumped us, because it felt like we had a lot of the ball, but we turned it over at sort of half forward, that high half forward. So we just tinkered a little bit with our structure. We shifted a few guys around, and the Giants were doing a good job in some of their tagging roles, but ultimately we were able to get on top and then push forward.
You talked about the defensive pressure in the midfield was going to be so important given the weapons they've got up forward.
Yep.
You obviously must have been pretty pleased with what occurred as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think one of the keys for us is when we get our forwards chasing, our midfielders pressuring the ball, the defenders find it a bit easier. I mean, they still kick 72 points. We did kick 137 points, which is great. That's great for attack. The really good sides, though, can defend for longer. 72 points is still, that's good, but it's not great. So defensively, we still need to keep working and improving. But it did feel like the last couple of weeks we've made a couple of small steps forward in that area.
So would you prefer? It was a big win, obviously, but would you prefer it to be a slightly less win if you don't allow the opposition to kick as many points?
Yeah, I would. I know that won't please people that like to come and watch big scores, but from a coaching point of view, I'd like a better balance with attack and defence. So I'd rather us kick less but hold the opposition to less. Yeah.
When you say you've won small steps in the past couple of weeks, move forward, is that how you would view the two wins, or bigger than that?
Really important for our fans to come and see a home win today. Last week's win was great. That was a bit of a, I was going to say a statement, but I shouldn't say that. But that was good last week to win away from home. This week to back it up, Scotty Thompson's 250th, to win at home. We got a great crowd today too on Easter Sunday. 45,000 on an Easter Sunday is great for our footy club as well. But it just felt like there seemed like a bit of panic externally with how we were playing. We weren't happy with the final results, but there was still a lot of elements of how we were playing which we thought we were not too far away. We needed to do that for longer against good sides, and we'll look forward to doing that again next week, hopefully against Bulldogs.
Have you made big steps though in the last 2 weeks? Or
small steps, yeah. Small steps, okay. It's funny, footy this year. I mean, you guys watching like me have been really surprised with some of the results. There's sides getting blown out one week and then winning by a big margin the next week. It's an unusual season to read at this stage. It's there's some dominant sides going around at the moment. But the rest of us are sort of looking to just make little inroads here or there, refining a couple of little parts of our game, and we still feel like we've got a long way to go. And that's not playing down the win. That's just we feel like still there's still a long way to go in our development to be a good footy team.
Matthew Yench, seemed to have made giant strides this year. How have you described his season and his improvement? Yeah,
that's a really good point. Yench has been fantastic for us across half-back. Today was his 50th game. I know some of his mates made a banner today, Matty Yench 50 average games, which he had a bit of a joke about. But he's been really important for us. Those first 4 or 5 games for us this year, when we've had a few guys out injured, and he's really stood up for us, and really happy for him. Still want to keep his feet on the ground. He's a really important player for us now, and that allows McKay, Smith to get some outside ball. So, yeah, I'm really happy with his form.
Nice
the
to have
thinking
Danger
on-
back in form.
Yeah, Danger was good, wasn't he? He hit the scoreboard today, did some fantastic things outside of the contest. He's always, Dangerfield inside stoppages, and I think he had 9 clearances. So, yeah, I know those mids, they were fired up today. They love Scotty Thompson, and they weren't going to let this game slip today for their mate. He's been an enormous part of their development, a lot of those midfielders, and we saw them all lift today, and no one asked me about Matt Crouch, but his 28 touches till three-quarter time were really important as well. It probably showed today how important he's going to be.
So, curiosity, why did you stand?
I can't see the ball all that well when it's down the southern end, so I just like to stand today. I could talk to the assistants a bit better, but today just felt right to stand. Next week I'll be sitting again, and Eddie had, but yeah, it felt right today, and went to the bench a bit more than normal today as well, just to talk to players. It's really easy to just shoot down the bench at times.
So is there going to be an ongoing issue with that box, or is it?
Oh, it's not an issue, no. It's just for me, because it's all glass, but I look through a glass going that way and a glass going that way, and sometimes I see like 2 or 3 footies when it balls down the southern end. So, yeah, for me, just clear view when I'm standing. I mean, I could easily sit down the front, that's no dramas, but today we had Ben Rutten in the box, and Heath Uni was there as well, so I might change that the next time.
So what was your thinking on Lynch? Was there an argument to have him as a sub rather than a starting forward?
It was a bit of a debate, yeah. We were actually pretty split in the match committee, start him as the sub or start him in the 21, but he's only played 5 quarters of footy for the whole summer. So sometimes you use your sub really early with an injury. Thankfully today, again, we were able to use our sub in the last quarter. So he came on and was pretty good as well. He'll probably start in the 21 next week.
So we'll defer the other point until Tuesday then.
If that's okay, yeah, thank you.
Got the message.
Very nice. Sando's going to go to a function upstairs. So,
Thanks, guys.
Just for those of you that care.